Hi, everybody, and welcome. We're going to have another video here for you as we work on this series of just, interviewing people that are in the real estate industry. And I have brought with me today a friend of mine who is a home inspector, and his name's Chad Cheek with Riverside Home Inspections. Just wanted to go over some questions with him as far as the inspection process, how things work. And hey, Chad, I appreciate you joining me here today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Well, if you could, just for people who are not, never bought a home or never had a home inspection done, just kind of briefly describe, what a home inspector does. What does your job entail?
Well, the majority of the job is finding discrepancies in a house so that they can make an educated decision on what they're buying. The intended purpose of a home inspection is not to drive the price down. It is to make sure you have a solid home and you know what you're getting.
Right. And that makes sense. I mean, obviously, people can go through a house and everybody has a different, a different thought process or different experience as far as being able to look at a home, and having somebody like yourself that knows those nuances of things to look at is obviously extremely important. And it's always good to have another set of eyes as well.
Yeah, yeah. We find a lot, so it definitely helps to have a pro there.
Yeah, absolutely. So what is the requirements to be a home inspector in Ohio? Do you have to have a license for that? I know there's some transitioning going on there, but there's a training and stuff that you have to go through to be qualified as a home inspector.
Yeah, that's a great question. Ohio is currently going through the licensing phase. It was an unregulated state, and it is switching to regulated. Um, the requirements are only set up for grandfathering in right now, and that time period is closed. So if you weren't grandfathered in, you cannot be grandfathered in now. You'd have to go and start the new process, which hasn't even been structured yet. So yes, you do have to have a license, and the license covers insurance, education, criminal background checks. It's pretty steep, actually.
Good. And with everything going on right now in our situation with the COVID-19 stuff, are you still doing home inspections, or are you able to do them, safely for buyers and sellers?
Absolutely. There's no reason that anybody but the home inspector has to be present at a home inspection.
And then that helps out a lot, obviously, with having the less amount of people there as possible. And you put together paper reports for the buyers, correct? So that way, if they are not there, you're able to, either talk with them on the phone or provide them with that documentation of what you found.
Well, it's a written report, but it's electronic. I don't actually do a paper one. I email it. If they want a paper version of the report, they would have to print it themselves. But
Okay.
yeah, we're required to give a report that is written.
Okay. But it's all documented, and what are some of those things in a house that you're looking for as you go through?
Well, exterior, interior, structural, roofing, plumbing, and then everything gets, electrical, things get specific from there. It's top to bottom, in and out, the attic, the crawl space, the basement, everything, garage.
Good. So what are some common things that you find in a house that, generally are things that, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer may not notice that you would when you do an inspection?
Uh, right off the bat, I would say electrical problems. Most home buyers aren't aware of the dangers of, say, Federal Pacific breaker panels, plumbing problems with galvanized. Now galvanized is starting to become an issue with rust inside the pipes. Uh, huge problems with plumbing that a lot of people don't understand and know about.
Sure.
So Structure, cracks and basements and stuff, walls.
So those are obviously great things, and a big part of probably what your job as well is just educating your customers as far as things that can be fixed easily, things that are bigger repairs, and just trying to get people to understand what they're seeing.
Absolutely. A lot of times people, for an example, will see a crack in a basement wall and get really nervous about it. But with the right training and experience, you can usually tell if it's going to be a problem down the road or if it's just something that they can relax and monitor and don't worry about it.
Right. Yeah. It's always good to have that, that professional opinion on stuff for sure. So if I'm going to sell my house, if I'm a seller, what are some things that I can do to prepare ahead of time, before they call me and we're going to list the property, and, what are some good tips, some things to look at that they could possibly do ahead of time that would prepare for a home inspection?
Well, that's one great thing they could do is to call me and have a pre-listing inspection done. And I inspect a complete house just like I would for a buyer. It's pretty popular now. If they wanted to handle stuff on their own, they need to check everything, all their plumbing, and you're held to the current codes no matter when the house was built. So
Okay.
if it's a 150-year-old house, it's got to meet today's standards.
Okay. And that's good to know, because obviously there's a lot of older houses around, that aren't going to meet today's code.
Yes. Yeah. Well, yeah.
Well, hey, is there anything else you want to add? I think you provided a lot of great information for people, and I appreciate it. Anything else you want to, or any advice you want to throw at anybody?
Uh, no, just stay safe out there and, you know, get professional opinions before you jump into anything, you
All
know.
right. Well, hey, I appreciate you joining me, Chad. It was a pleasure, and obviously, if anybody has any questions about anything, they can contact myself. They can contact Chad. How would somebody get a hold of you, Chad?
Real easy. 419-239-9067.
All right. Well, hey, I appreciate it. You stay safe, sir, and I hope everybody enjoyed this video. And stay safe. Take care.
Yes, sir.